This pod's going to be about the big news, so let's get into the big news.
Let's
Ready?
do it. Yeah,
And there's no bigger news than what happened in the middle of your show today with Mike Florio. Tom Brady says, sayonara, so long. On the scale of 0 being not shocked at all, 10 being completely shocked more than I've been shocked in my whole life, where did that land for you when you found out?
7. Okay. I mean, I thought realistically retirement could happen here. I actually thought about it less here over the last month. I mean, I think I even said last week, I was like, 6 weeks ago, I would have told you he was retiring for sure, right? And then I get to the end of the season, I was like, I don't know. It's starting to seem like maybe he will find one more destination or one more spot to play. So I didn't know what to expect there. I think that's the first thing. And then I think what the most shocking part of it is just how it was done, just out of nowhere. Wednesday morning, I'm going to be on the beach and I'm going to film myself and make a video, which I do think is cool too. I'm going to give him credit for that. Like not having a whole big press conference. I do think Brady at no point wanted this to be a big thing to overtake a season or anything like that, right? So that's where I guess I was shocked. I know, I've said this on the pod and to you before, I know some people in the Brady orbit, 45 was always the magic number. That's kind of why at the end of last year, I was like, I kind of changed my tune at the end of last year where I was like, I don't know, some people are telling me, hey, he said 45. The guy always does what he says, right? And so that's where I thought maybe it would happen. But you were hearing rumors about maybe he was looking for another team. The way it went down at the end of last year with the retirement quotation marks when he was actually trying to go to the Miami Dolphins, I didn't know what to expect with Brady, this offseason. So, it's crazy. It's crazy. And go ahead. What?
No.
What are you going to say?
You were about to drop
Well,
some.
I was going to just say, it's like I just being a football guy that talks and we talk and do this all the time, I was like a little bit like, what happened, right? Did the teams that maybe that he was looking at say, nah, no thanks, we don't want to do it? Or is there just no team that makes sense like Tampa did, 2-3 years ago, right? That's a part. That's one thing I thought of. Did the Raiders kind of say, "Hey, Tom, we like you, but we don't want to do this for the 1 year thing, right?" 49ers. I know we've talked about them because I would think that would be a team he would look at for sure. And I wonder if he just finally saw the writing on the wall, like, man, I'm not going to find a spot that really makes sense, so let me call retirement. I don't know any of that. I'm just throwing that out there for food for thought.
If you really was on the fence, though,
right?
Why now? Right,
yeah.
I almost the timing makes me believe like he really didn't want to play, because if you really are on the fence, can you wait another month just to see how you feel? I mean, is there any reason why he had to do it now as opposed to March 1st?
No, you're right. You're right. And the only thing I would think maybe just to counter that is maybe he didn't want to wait. Maybe he wanted to know, and maybe teams were like, "Hey, we got some things we got to figure out and think about. Yeah, can we talk about this in 3 weeks from now?"
Yeah,
and maybe that's where he realized it didn't work. Either way, I mean, come on, forget all that stuff. We're talking about the GOAT. It's Tom Brady. Everything he's done in this league. I mean, this is a special human being. This is a guy that I was kind of saying to Flory the other day, I'm not so sure he doesn't get his own little section at the Hall of Fame. I mean, really, it's an incredible career, an incredible run, and then not doing it necessarily as being like, the most physically gifted guy in the world, but the guy who's going to be able to show everybody, like, look, you work hard, you do everything right, you approach something and give it your all 100%. Look how you can maximize your talents. Right. I guess that's what I'm saying. And Brady's talents don't ever get the credit they deserve, as you've heard me say, right?
Yes. I mean, he's got one of the strongest arms we've seen in the NFL.
Definitely,
right?
Exactly.
I mean, he was misevaluated out of the draft. It's not like a 7th rounder who should have been a 7th rounder.
Right.
Like in all,
no,
intents and purposes,
they messed it up. The
rounder.
politics of the situation in Michigan. Wait, they're replacing him with some guy. How good could he be? Lack of athleticism.
That played a bigger part, I think, than a lot of people realize.
I would think so.
Like the fact that Drew Henson was there.
A freshman came in and almost beat him out, so he can't be that good, right? Right? Go ahead. You were living there.
That's what it was. And you're like, all right, he's being replaced by the next big thing, the guy who will be the number 1 pick overall in the draft one day.
Right.
Didn't end up working out for Drew Henson in football or baseball, unfortunately for him. But yeah, I think that's the interesting part of it, is that how little small events, like I was just listening to a podcast with Joe Burrow, who said he almost just didn't want to play football and just focus on basketball because he was on the freshman basketball team in high school.
Yeah.
It's just like how little tiny things
Hey,
like that have this huge impact.
They really do. I can speak to that experience myself. My junior year in college, I'm thinking about coming out. I got people, agents, coaches. You're going to be a top 15 pick. I play like shit in the Big 12 championship game. Nobody wants me. And then I'm a third rounder the next year. I literally have people telling me, you should come out. I got people reaching out to me. Hey, this team, they got their eye on you. They're going to take you in the top 15, right? And I have a horrible game and just one event like that. And then this is on the field. This is a little different than Brady, but it's that fickle as to your point.
Yeah.
And the perception does become reality as we talk about so much. And then also I think when you play into that fact of what you're talking about too, it was kind of the start of, hey, we'd like our quarterbacks to be a little more athletic, right? And he wasn't that. And, of course, he ran a 5.28 or whatever it was, right? So I think with all of that played it. But the one thing is his arm, his ability to dissect defenses and diagnose that the right way is what made him special. And then his ability to be clutch in big moments. That's the biggest thing. I mean, he has so many marquee moments throughout his career that are special. That's where I will always just be amazed by Tom Brady. He took advantage of every opportunity. He was really selfless throughout most of his career. Maybe got a little selfish towards the end here, but so be it. You're the GOAT. You won 7 Super Bowls. It's hard for that not to happen, really. But just like an incredible career. I can't even actually believe we're kind of saying this and talking about it.
7-time Super Bowl champion. I mean, that's crazy to say.
Yes.
3-time NFL MVP, 5-time Super Bowl MVP, 2-time NFL Offensive Player of the Year, made the playoffs all but, what, 2 of his?
2002, and who else? Wait, hold on. Let me just think about that. They won the Super Bowl. They missed the playoffs where they made a great late season run to end the year, but they didn't get in. Okay, wait, hold on a second. Then he went to the playoffs.
He had 23 seasons. I'm reading here on NFL.com.
Well, 2008 he got hurt and they didn't get to the playoffs.
So he had 20 postseason appearances.
Okay,
and 1 losing year.
Right,
this year.
Right. That's. I mean, it's amazing. And then only 1 really major injury throughout that whole time, and then to be a part. You know, I know there's always Belichick or Brady. Who cares? How about just awesome? Okay, I mean 20 years of just. I don't think we'll ever see a team ever replicate that again. I mean, literally, to where like every year we're like, well, they're going to win the Super Bowl. Oh, they'll at least be in the Super Bowl. Oh, it's the playoffs. They're going to make a run, and they're going to be close to getting the Super Bowl. Oh, watch out for the Patriots. Oh, watch out for the Patriots. Watch out for the Patriots. Even when like they weren't the favorite. I mean, come on. I don't know any time in our history of our and actually sports in general, maybe Michael Jordan in the mid-90s, where it was just kind of a given for a while, where you're like, the Final 2 or Final 4 is going to have the Patriots.
And as good as the Chiefs have been over the last 5 years, they're, 25% of the way there?
Exactly. Well, yeah, it's great. They're having a historic run themselves. You're right. And it's not even in the same class, right? They got a lot of work to do in the Super Bowl department. And then I think when you throw on just the added levels of his career and just how he progressed and things too. I always find that fascinating. Kind of, hey, just part of the team, makes a few clutch throws in some big moments, but we play defense and run the ball. And then it slowly became, wait, we're going to start putting more on your shoulders and whoa. And okay, now we're going to start to ask you to carry us and start to make throws all over the football field. And we do expect you to throw for 350 and 3 touchdowns every week. Just that amazing transformation. And then you add the records on top of it. I mean, I was saying to Flory the other day, like some of his records, like who the is going to break them? Who the is going to break some of these records? It's just like for that long, that kind of success, like he's going to have some records that I think are going to be like, Hank Aaron, Babe Ruth home run, where you're going to be like, man, it's 50 years later. Nobody's even coming close to them yet. And he's still the man. So that's where I think it's awesome as far as the total legacy of Brady as well.
That's interesting you bring that up because the way the game is played, you mentioned the shift in the game. It does seem unlikely that you'll have someone have the longevity. We've never seen it to this point anyway, even with the way the game was played previously.
Yeah.
And so no one's played into their 40s, let alone mid-40s.
No. I mean, rules, you're going to start to see quarterbacks play to their 40s because of the way the rules are set up. I mean, come on. I mean,
But it's like there's more on their plate, it seems like, for most quarterbacks.
There definitely
right? There's
is.
a little running element to almost every new quarterback's game. Maybe Joe Burrow's the exception.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I mean, I hear what you're saying. You're right. I mean, he's true pocket passer. There's no double threat of him kind of doing that way. And that's, again, where, hey, the team helps out in those departments too. Can you be protected? Can your coaching staff be good enough to always put you in spots? And he was, benefited from that, of course. But yeah, it's incredible what Tom Brady has done, and they're going to have a whole Hall of Fame show just for him. Really, almost in a way, it's that special of a career. It's that much greater of a career than any quarterback. The career itself is absolutely amazing. Like, you always hear those things where people go, "Oh, he could have had 2 Hall of Fame careers." Yeah, he arguably could have. He really could have. And then the finishing touch of going to Tampa and winning the Super Bowl that way, where you're like, wait, quarterbacks don't go to a team and win the Super Bowl the first year. Right?
Let alone the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Exactly. Like a team that's...
Chris Simms couldn't even win there.
Couldn't even turn around that plays. Right.
Yes.
So, yeah, a perennial kind of loser or bottom-of-the-pack type football team to change that culture, do it in the first year, beat the Chiefs and all of that, just adds to the lure. So, it's Tom Brady.
Yeah.
See you later. Congratulations. You were the man. I know people think I might have been a little bit of a hater on you, but I just keep it real.
I wasn't going to say that exactly, but I was going to say you do such a good job, and what makes you so good is you separate the player from the environment. You separate the talent from the team's talent.
Right.
And so I don't think you will think that he was necessarily the most talented quarterback ever.
No.
I mean, still top 5 or 10 maybe with all that he does.
Yeah.
But his accomplishments... You can't say he's not number one now and maybe forever.
Yeah, it's the most accomplished football player in the history of the sport. The only one I think that can even really rival it is like Jerry Rice at wide receiver, where you just go, oh, he's got all these records and everything, and he really dominates the position. When you look at the position and then who has the records, man, Rice has so many of them. Brady's the same way there. Yeah, but a little bit like... Jerry Rice in that way. Is it necessarily the most physically gifted guy I've ever seen? No. As you've heard me say before, in their prime, do I think he's as good as Aaron Rodgers or Peyton Manning or John Elway? In their prime? No. I think their prime play, I would rather have him. But nobody danced around their prime for as long as Tom Brady did, right? And then got to a stage in his career where I was like, man, he's old. He's just looking to check it down and doesn't want to make any mistakes or any big plays anymore. Doesn't want to do anything like that. And 2014 changes that around to where he became a different player. I mean, on the Cincinnati year, to where all of a sudden it was like, whoa, here comes Brady from 2007 again. He's striking downfield and just throwing with no fear and doing all of that. That was another aspect of him that I just, found fascinating about his career.
You put it really well. You said that no one can do more with more than Tom Brady, especially late in his career.
That's right.
You give him something around him, he's going to take you to heights that you didn't even think were possible.
Exactly right. Exactly.
So now the Bucs need to do more with less.
Yeah.
What do they do? I guess they were already thinking this way because Brady was unlikely to come back there.
Right.
But I do wonder what they got. Blaine Gabbert is the number 1 on their depth chart right now.
Yeah, they're gonna make a move. I don't know what that'll be. I mean, they're they got a whole bunch of things they're kind of reorganizing there with no Byron Leftwich anymore. So they're going to kind of get to figure out just what kind of system they want to run. What do they want to do on the offensive side of the ball? I know there's the talk out there that Brady was going to come back to the Bucs or nobody, right? There was a few, Jeff Darlington, who's had a lot of Brady scoops and all that. I don't know if I buy that. That sounds good. That sounds like something Brady's camp told Jeff Darlington to make sure it sounds good to the public, right? And I'm not trying to disclude Jeff Darlington's work. I think he does a great job. It's just that, I'm not going to buy everything the guy says, certainly. And I am interested to see if it comes out over the next few weeks if he tried to flirt with a few teams or gauge some interest before he, made this final move to retire. Thanks for watching, homies. Hit subscribe to see all my unbuttoned videos. You get to see me, Ahmed Fareed, all the big player breakdowns, game breakdowns, player interviews, and my film analysis. So please subscribe. Chris Simms Unbuttoned. Peace out.